Uh, Welcome to this webinar about Bio-based Dyneema. Thanks for joining us. Before we start, I wanted to give you a few guidelines of how this webinar will look like. The webinar will take about 20 to 30 minutes in total, after which we can have some room to answer questions. You can ask your questions in the chat that we will try to answer online as much as we can. And if you are looking to enlarge your screen, on the top right, you'll see two arrows that you can click on, and then you have the full presentation on screen. Okay, welcome again. My name is Giovanni Hensen. I'm responsible for sales at FibrXL. For those who don't know us, FibrXL is a distributor of high tenacity nylon and polyester for the industrial textile market. And we have another division, which is fiber enhancing services that we apply to high performance fibers such as Dyneema. In general, we only supply our fibers to the technical textile industry, which ranges from ropes, nets, technical textile for various markets. As a large industrial player, we definitely are committed to take our responsibility and to contribute to a more sustainable world. And in that context, we launched a couple of weeks ago what we call Project Helix. Project Helix is a holistic approach, if you like, where we invited industry partners covering the complete value chain to share experience, insights, and create a vision of how future will look like and what challenges we have together and that we have to overcome to, in the end, come to a more sustainable and a circular economy. The focus on the Project Helix is to take action. Not action to solve, let's say, the final problem, or the final biggest challenge that we have altogether is to come to a circular economy, but the challenge is to take actions, even if they're very small, towards such a situation. As a first step in this, as an action that we want to take, is that together with our partner, DSM, we committed to offer us to our customers a bio-based Dyneema. What bio-based Dyneema is, I could almost say colleague, but our partner DSM, we have invited to participate in this webinar, which is Bart Takke, and who will go into a little bit more in detail the ins and outs of what DSM Dyneema is. As you might have seen, you will pop up a poll, a question, a very simple question. I would like to invite you all to give your response to that poll question that we will get back to you on later. Okay, Bart, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gio. Sorry.
Thank you. I see there's also already some slight. Struggling with some slight technical challenges. We'll manage. Some background noise. Yeah, solved. Very good. I also see that there is already some response coming to the poll. We'll keep it open for a while. I'll start. We'll get back to the answers on the poll in a minute. I see we have quite a distinctive change of this distinctive answer. So yeah, it will be good to see the result of that one. Then a short introduction of myself. I'm Bart Takke. I'm Technical and Business Development Manager at DSM Protective Materials in the business segment Marine and Industrial Fibers. And as such, working together with FibrXL on the introduction of bio-based products and in general Dyneema in their product portfolio. Now, to give you a little bit background on the bio-based, it's why bio-based at DSM Protective Materials. In general, we are very dedicated to the environment and also to come up with sustainable solutions. That's in general seen as a challenge for HMPE, but we are dedicated to find a solution. We have solutions, and these fit also together with the DSM Sustainable Development Goals as set by our corporate organization. Overall, we see in the industry there's quite a big and growing interest in sustainable solutions, and that's certainly something we want to address and take responsibility as a market leader in offering solutions. Now, is that one of those solutions? That's our recently introduced Bio-based Dyneema. It's a product that we launched earlier this year, around the June timeline. And it's basically the ability for us to supply all our Dyneema grades made from a bio-based raw material source. I will get back to that later. How is this being done? To also assure that it's a real bio-based conformation, the product is offered with an ISCC certificate. And it offers you as a customer to develop and market your products made with a bio-based material. The good thing is, and the interesting thing is that as such, there is no product development needed because the physical properties of the raw material, they remain the same. So it does not require all kinds of new validation processes for your existing products. Additionally, we will be supplying with every order, we will supply an ISCC certificate confirming that that's a bio-based order. But you also, as a customer, have the option to certify your end products via an ISCC standard, including the use of the logo. So that's something additional you can do yourself. Now, what's the approach? So basically, we are introducing the first ever bio-based HMPE fiber. And our goal is, with that fiber, to reduce the reliance on fossil-based resources. It's the very good thing about this is that it's a climate-neutral feedstock to a side product, or actually of sustainable forestry. And as such, it's, for example, not competing with the food chain like you would, for instance, have with corn-based products. I will get back to the raw material source in a minute. How we supply this, it's based on a mass balance approach, which again is then certified by the International Sustainability and Carbon Certification. Also on this topic, I will get back to explain a little bit further the background on mass balance. And again, like we said before, it's no need to recertify your or retest, requalify your products. The raw material is the same, and it will have no compromise on the performance of your products. Now, what is the material? What we do is we use a sustainable source. It's the crude tall oil, which is a byproduct or a waste product actually from the paper industry. So the pulp, it's a byproduct of the pulping part of the paper industry. Sorry. So, and the crude tall oil that is then transferred into a bio-naphtha, and the bio-naphtha we will use as a base material to produce our raw material for the fiber production. Now, the material comes from the company UPM, who have a strong focus on sustainably managed forests. So it's a sustainable source as supply for the material. If you look at UPM, they globally have about 850,000 acres of forests and annually plant about 50 million trees. And all their forests, they are 100% sustainably certified. So that's very important for us as well, that we have the material from a sustainable certified source. Now, I already addressed it in an introduction that this is based on mass balance. So what is our approach in this? And this is for us an ability, because we are uniquely backwards integrated, so we have the possibility to do this. And what we do normally, you use oil-based naphtha to feed the crackers, which in the end will result as the output the polyethylene or the ethylene molecule comes out of the crackers, and the ethylene is the base molecule which we use to produce our HMPE fibers. Now, instead of the oil-based naphtha, we will feed the bio-based naphtha into the crackers, which will then result in the end in the same raw material base molecule, the same ethylene as we would generate from the oil-based naphtha. Now, how does that in practice work? This will be in a mass balance approach, and the mass balance approach is kind of similar to what's already very known in the industry and in the consumer market. Is the mass balance approach for energy. So basically, if you at home decide to buy green energy, a certain part of that energy supplied to your home will be sourced from green resources. So for example, instead of the conventional way, it will come from wind energy. Now, that approach will be similar for our introduction of the bio-based, where we basically will get the raw material from the bio-naphtha from the forestry industry. We'll feed that into the crackers, and next to the conventional Dyneema or the conventional ethylene, there will also be certified bio-based ethylene. Our offering in that sense will then in the end be a combination of conventional Dyneema as well as Dyneema based produced on this bio-naphtha, so the bio source. Now, in the end, what you see, we will produce that fiber, and that is something we will then supply to our customers, and also in that customer base to FibrXL as our distribution partner. Now, with every delivery we will do will be accompanied by a ISCC certificate, confirming that order, that volume that is basically ordered at us as being bio-based, we will order that same volume also as bio-based ethylene, and the certificate is the confirmation of that. Now, if you then look, what's the impact of this? Now, if you would change your conventional Dyneema, if you would change 1 ton of conventional Dyneema, replace it with 1 ton of bio-based Dyneema, you will generate a footprint saving of 5 tons of CO2. Now, that corresponds with, for example, 637,000 smartphone charges and about 83 tree seedlings growth for 10 years. Basically, that's the equivalent of 10 years trees growing for 10 years, the absorption of CO2 by those trees. Now, and we have compared it to a few other products in the market, and you get the bottom. You can also see that it's there is to other types of generic HMPE non-Dyneema products, which can give up a saving up till about 29 tons of CO2. Now, as already stated, the orders will be accompanied by a certificate, and based on that certificate, that will give you the guarantee and also the proof that the volumes we are supplied are based on bio-based raw material. Oh, that's I already reached the end of this presentation. So just to get back to the poll that we started initially. The question was, do you expect an increase in requests for sustainable solutions? And the answer is with 91%, yes, definitely. So I'm very happy to see that, because that resonates very well with the message we want to send and are sending, and also like Gio also introduced already, the focus of FibrXL and the dedication of FibrXL into introducing the bio-based Dyneema into the market. Now that we finished this poll, there will be another poll posted right now. And the question is, do your offerings from sustainable material create an opportunity for you to differentiate?
Explanation about what the bio-based Dyneema actually is and how it works. And as I said in the beginning, we're very happy with this development from DSM and being their partner so that we can, let's say, roll this out into the market for our customers. As I mentioned before, we made a strong commitment to contribute to a more sustainable world, and the kickoff of that was a couple of weeks ago through Project Helix. And here again, I want to emphasize and announce that as of the 1st of October, we want to make a start by offering two of our product ranges, the Dyneema types SK78 and SK99, also as bio-based Dyneema. It's open, let's say, for all our customers. We will start with these two products, which doesn't mean that we will which definitely doesn't mean that we will stick to only these two products, but we will include the rest of our product range in due time as well, or on specific requests. Having said that, I just want to check the outcome of the poll, or the status of the poll so far, after 66% of you guys replied. Whether or not the offering of sustainable material create an opportunity to differentiate. A good 66, 2/3, yes, for sure, and 24% maybe in the future. So I consider that as a pretty positive, and again, reconfirms that this is one of the ways to go forward. If you have any questions, I would like you to invite to address them now, and through mail, through the chat box, if you like, and we will. Sabrina is okay. Sabrina asked a question whether or not the Dyneema fiber is it possible to dye the Dyneema fiber? The very technical answer is yes, to some extent, but in a practical way, not really. And that's where we, to overcome that, we have the possibility to offer a colored, dope-dyed black Dyneema in certain counts. Let me see if there's other questions. Heiner, could you provide the total CCF of the bio-based Dyneema? Can we have the carbon footprint? I'm looking to Bart here. If there's Bart, can you comment on that?
That I will need to come back to that one. I will check with the project team on the actual carbon footprint data on that one. So I will make sure that we'll get back to that question. Yeah. I also see one. I just saw another one from Eduardo. Will Bio SK78 come in all text counts? Yes. So in all the texts, at least we can supply it from Dyneema. So in general, Eduardo, all Dyneema products we are able to supply all Dyneema products in bio-based.
I see, Peter, whether or not the cost of the bio-based fiber is the same. Not. We charge a small premium, and the small premium, it depends a little bit on the product, but it's let's say maximum €1 per kilo for the bio-based Dyneema.
What capacity does it have and who runs it? I can give you an answer to the first question. We use the same cracker. I have to get back to you on the question of the capacity and who runs it.
Type of coatings we can do on the Dyneema fiber and what benefits these coatings have. The coatings that we apply to the Dyneema fiber, which is called the Prisma technology, One is the color, because we can virtually apply any color on the coating. But the major benefit of the special engineered coating that we apply to Dyneema is the reduction of the friction. And then think of friction reduction in a rope, which extends the lifetime of the rope due to reduction of the internal friction of the rope.
Interesting question from Philip coming in. It's what about recyclability of bio-based Dyneema? That's a very good question, Philip. Looking at this is, let's say, our introduction of the front end of the sustainability chain. So we're introducing the bio-based Dyneema now. With recyclability, that's another topic. And we're working hard on also finding solutions there. We're dedicated to find solutions for HMPE on recyclability. We're also sure that we will find solutions in the near future. And in that sense, the bio-based Dyneema will be in the same way recyclable as normal Dyneema from a HMPE point of view. So we will have to get back on that recycling topic.
We produce this directly. Not sure what you mean with directly. If you mean as of now, the answer is yes. We as FibrXL, we do not produce the fiber, but that's, of course, I think that was clear, that's produced by DSM.
Use the fiber, yes, also, so we take that raw material, so the ethylene, and in that sense the material stays the same. That's what I addressed in the presentation. So the base molecule is the same, and we produce the fiber from either the conventional route or the bio-based route. Mm-hmm.
Additional strength for Dyneema, breathability, water repellency, etc. FR, interesting. Yes, through, let's say, apart from the strength of the Dyneema, it is, of course, extremely light, UV resistant, heat conductive, a lot of abrasion resistant, a lot of nice features. Water repellent, yes, because it's so dense that it doesn't absorb a drop of water. So that's good. Remains light even when wet. On FR, no, that's a no-go, although it's self-extinguishing, but flame retardant or let's say flame proof, that's unfortunately not. And we can add a few extra, or we can enhance a few of the features with special type of coatings, again, with, I said before, with the Prisma coating technology.
From Eduardo, do I understand correctly that 1 ton order would be completely certified, but only part would be PE monomers, would be bio-based source? And do you see limits to volume to supply to the market? On your first question, Eduardo, that's let's say the basis of the mass balance approach. Yeah? So what we will do for every order that we get, every volume that we will get in bio-based, we will source that same volume as bio-based material. But it's of course a mix in the end with conventional Dyneema. So it could well indeed be that a certain part of the volume you get is conventional Dyneema, but it's on the mass balance. So the total volume that we will receive as orders for bio-based, we will buy as a raw material, as a bio-based raw material. In the end, hypothetically, if everybody would order bio-based Dyneema from us, then our whole offering would be bio-based. Do you see limitations for volume to supply? No, not from not from the source and not from capacity.
Two questions at once from Martin and Marco, whether the bio-based material will also be available as a staple fiber. Absolutely yes. Do you supply the yarn twisted? Also yes, because what I mentioned at the beginning, what we consider to be fiber enhancing services, that means that within FibrXL we twist yarn, we chop yarn, we assemble yarns. So absolutely yes, we can twist the yarn and we can chop the yarn into staple fiber. So
I see a question from Umar.
Yeah.
Umar, sorry. When you do PU coating on a Dyneema fiber, is it still bio-friendly? That's a good question. The fiber, yes. The PE would then be, or the PU, the polyurethane, that would be the question. If the polyurethane is also from bio-based or feed of bio raw materials, then yes. Otherwise, I think a part is then that PU part is friendly, yes or no? Do you agree?
I totally agree, and I tend to say yes, but to be quite honest, Umar, I will get back to you on, let's say, on a one-on-one, on the detailed, on a more detailed answer on that. But I think the coating that we apply is Ecotex approved, certified. But again, let me get back to you on a more detail on that, Umar. Okay, I don't have all the details. Again, will DM20 be available as bio-based? Well, yes, it could become available as well. As I said, we start with these two products, but we will introduce and launch the rest of our product range in due time. And
to add to that, Gio,
yeah.
To add to that, Gio,
as a raw material supplier, is available bio-based.
Yeah.
available.
Well, again, it's just a matter
Well,
of
again,
because
it's a
from
matter
our
of
point of view,
because from our
we
point
just
of
need
view,
to have the logistics, or let's say the administration in place to also supply that as DM20. So the answer is yes. There's also a question from Eric: will the bio-based Dyneema replace the regular Dyneema completely on the long term? That's our goal. Okay, that is our ambition. Like Bart said, ideally everything should be bio-based.
Open invitation to you to help us in this one.
yeah. Same goes for Sabrina.
That's why Umar, with my reply to him on the let's say bio-friendliness of our PU, I will get back to you, Sabrina, on that, on your offer. Not the bio-based Dyneema chemically is exactly as the conventional Dyneema. An absolute yes. The source of the let's say the source is different, but the molecule, the polyethylene molecule, as in one of the slides that Bart showed you, it's a double bonded CC atom. That's exactly the same. It doesn't matter where it comes from, but that will be exactly the same. And everything that follows from there on, the polymerization and the drafting and the spinning of the yarn is exactly the same. That's same for the durability and any other property. That also answers Zishan's hi Zishan, the question from Zishan whether it's the same as you're buying today. Yes. Okay, a question from Brendan for Umar, so I'll let you do it. That's That's why a colleague came in and attended. Okay, sorry for that. The whether the poll, whether or not the offering of sustainable material will give us an opportunity to differentiate. If I count it for yes for sure, and maybe in the near future together, it's an overwhelming 90% again. So I would say that's pretty positive.
Did DSM already do a
Market introduction of Bio-based Dyneema? Yes, we did it early June. It was launched by our business group, that we will be selling and introducing Bio-based Dyneema. So it's fresh of this year, June.
I would like to thank you and and in the name of Bart, thank you all for your attending this call. And hopefully, if you have any further questions, you can always send us an email. Please check our website, FibrXL.com, where you can address your questions if you have any. And otherwise, I'm looking forward to welcome you again in our next webinar, which for sure will come shortly. Okay, thank you, and have a great day.